We've got bearings and 3D printed parts. Must be time to do fidget spinners. Everybody on YouTube that has some sort of 3D printer, I feel like, has done fidget spinners. So I figured if I was going to do it, I had to do something special. So I went on Thingiverse and I found this really cool model. Alright, here we are on Thingiverse once again. As you can see, we've got a fidget spinner by the designer called the Design Nerd. I love this name. It's a cool name. You see this one's a lot of parts that we have to print out here. So we'll definitely be doing some time lapse on this. As you can see, it says commercial use is not allowed. I did contact this guy. His name is Daniel, and sent him a message and said, "Hey, do you mind if I do a YouTube video on your fidget spinner?" And he didn't. So definitely go over and give him some love by downloading his model and liking it and everything if you guys have a 3D printer. Printed all of this at 20% infill with no supports, although he suggests you do support, so depending on your printer, kind of choose whether or not you think you need supports. Parts here on this table. I will put a link to the bearings that I got in the video description. The nuts I'm using are just 1/2-inch nuts. So we're going to slide all of these in. I didn't have to do any type of cleanup work on this main middle piece itself. And it seemed pretty well designed as far as the fit. They slide right in, as you just saw, but they're not going to come out either. Now we're going to put the bearing in. Again, just kind of slide it in. It's not quite there. Sometimes I'm propping it up off the table because it was hitting this corner a little bit. So we've got the spinner piece all together. Gonna add these little cover plates. Now I'm not quite sure if I want to glue these on or not, because I'm afraid that they're gonna mess with the bearing if I do get any glue inside the bearing. So if you do glue them, you just gotta be really careful. What I think I'm gonna do is drop a little bit of glue down inside this piece, and then down inside the center piece, and then glue it from both sides. So all the little domes I printed at 2.2 millimeter layer height with no support material on the thingiverse post. It said he suggested support material, but my printer does well enough that I didn't need it. There is a little bit of stringing and some cleanup work that needs to be done, but it's usually little pieces that you can just kind of pop off. So what I'm going to do next is I'm not going to worry about attaching our little cover pieces right now. I'm going to work on that later. But what I am going to do is make sure that all of the Pokeball pieces go on correctly and fit nicely. I like to put a little piece of paper down when I'm going to be doing any type of super gluing, just to keep my desk somewhat clean. Got a couple little pieces in here. I'm just going to pop off real quick. Alright, so I'm going to mainly glue is these little grooves. Here I'm just going to use some Ace brand super glue. Put some into that groove. I'm also going to put a little bit on this front piece so that we have a double hold. And we have a hold on in two different places. Then I'm just going to hold that there. When I'm doing that, I can see if any of these other ones got a little bit of a burr on this guy. I do have to say these printed very well, especially without the support material. Alright, all the bottoms are done. This model is very nicely designed. Like I said earlier, I did get to talk to the designer some. He was very cool about letting me do a video on this. I gotta give him props. It hooks together very well. And it all just kind of snaps into place, and then you glue it. I'm going to flip it over, put a little pressure on it. This actually has little buttons that are supposed to fit into the slot. And I think I'm going to have a heck of a time getting these things in there. But not because of the model, more because I have giant fingers and my printer isn't super good at printing smaller things. So let's see how this goes. Hey, it actually worked. Little drop just into the, there's a little recessed hole for the button. So I'm just dropping a drop of super glue into that. And this is kind of this is my first forte into the fidget spinners. Oops. Alright, all three of them are on. Let's give this a couple minutes to dry and then we'll check it out. Okay, so I said it a bunch of times in filming not to get your super glue inside the bearing. But as you can see, I got super glue inside the bearing and actually had to break the top part off to get it out. And this bearing is now just stuck. So I'm going to try hot glue this time and see if that stays out of the bearing. I'm going to go ahead and squeeze some of this out before. And what I'm going to try to do is dab it onto this piece. Pop that guy in. You don't need much, you just need it to kind of hold it. There we go. I've been messing around with this a little bit. I'm actually getting it to spin much better now. Oh, this thing's so much fun to play with. I think I'm definitely going to make a different one that doesn't have the Pokeballs on it, because although the Pokeballs are really cool, they're running into my hand, and I think I'm going to actually buy some more better bearings and do some with that, because these are actually kind of fun. Now I know why everybody on YouTube's printing them. I want to say thank you to Daniel, who's the creator on Thingiverse that actually made these. It's a cool model. Thanks for making it. And thanks for letting me do a video on it. Also, I want to thank all you guys for watching. We're actually getting up higher on subscribers. We're up to like 40 subscribers now, which I didn't imagine would ever happen. Links to all of our social media and that kind of stuff is in the video description below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. And go check out Daniel's model on Thingiverse. It'll be linked below.